In this video, we will learn how to find out the growth rate of an economy from the given savings rate and incremental capital output ratio. The question is like this: if the savings rate in an economy is 36% and incremental capital output ratio is 4, growth rate of an economy will be, the options are 10%, 9%, 5.5%, or 9.5%. Okay, so basically this question is related to Harrod Domer model. Okay, and by Harrod Domer model, the essence of this model is that the growth rate depends upon two things. Okay, so before I came out to the solution of this question, let's briefly explain what the Harrod Domer model tells us. It says growth rate. Okay, growth rate depends on two things. Okay, first is savings and level of savings in an economy. Okay, let me write it here. Level of national savings, and second part is the capital output ratio, what we call incremental capital output ratio. Okay, capital output ratio. Okay, so this is the basic essence of the Harrod Domer model, which says that growth rate in an economy depends upon two things: what is the national savings rate and capital output ratio. Okay, now what is meant by capital output ratio? Let's explain this on also. It simply says, let me give an example. Let us say if $100 worth of capital, okay, it produces an output, let us say, of $10 each annually. Okay, so if $100 worth of capital equipment produces $10 of output in an economy, in this case we say capital output ratio is equal to 100 upon 10, which comes out to be 10 upon 1. So our capital output ratio will be 10 upon 1. Okay, simple definition. Okay, let's take another example. Let us say, capital output ratio is being given us is 3. Okay, so by capital output ratio of 3, what we mean, it simply tells us that $3 worth of capital is required to produce $1 worth of output annually in an economy. Okay, that is the meaning of capital output ratio. Okay, I hope I am making myself clear. Here you can also see, if this capital output ratio, if the capital output ratio is low, so then what will happen? If capital output ratio is low, that means we are producing a lot of output from little capital. Okay, so how can I write it here? So let me write it: a lot of output with little capital. And if this capital output ratio is high, simply what will happen then? That means little of output is being produced with lot of capital. Okay, and here you can see that having low capital output ratio is a good thing here. Okay, so I hope I am making myself clear here what is meant by this capital output ratio. It simply says us how much worth of capital we are required to produce the output, okay, annually. And also one of the assumption of this Harrod Domer model was this: savings is equal to investment. Okay, these are some basic idea which I want to share before I solve this numerical. I have actually solved the Harrod Domer model in depth, so you can check that very video on this channel also. Okay, so let's come to the question now. So what we are being given, we have to find out the growth rate of an economy. That means the GDP growth rate of an economy. So I can write it simply, growth rate of economy. Okay, economy will be equal to, so what we are being given, we are being given the savings rate is 36%. We have been given the incremental capital output ratio is 4. Okay, so say growth rate of an economy is equal to ICOR, incremental capital output ratio. Sorry, let me write it here. It is actually equal to savings rate savings rate divided by incremental capital output ratio. So what is our savings rate? Savings rate is 36%. So we can write it here, 36% divided by incremental capital output ratio is 4. Okay, so this is 4 ones are 4 nines are. That means our economy will grow by 9% annually. Okay, so growth rate of economy will be 9%. The correct option should be this option. Okay, as I have told you, the Harrod Domer model says growth rate depends upon two things: levels of savings and incremental capital output ratio, or simply capital output ratio. And